especially when Mel Sharples was signing the checks. Novel title: The Chili and the Stardust. Part 7: The Stick and the Stoop. Chapter 31: A Blast from the Past. The rhythm of the diner was disrupted not by a customer, but by a ghost from the old neighborhood. He walked in wearing a suit that cost more than Mel's car, and a smile that was all teeth and no warmth. Mel? Mel Sharples? The stranger boomed. Mel squinted over the pass-through. Gordy Ravachat? Oh, you dirty rat. Gordy laughed, slapping the counter. I couldn't come to Phoenix without seeing my good old friend from Brooklyn. It's hard to believe it's been 30 years. Mel marveled, coming out to shake hands. Remember Stickball? They used to call him the Stick, because I could always beat you. Yeah, Gordy smirked. And remember Stoopball? They used to call you the Stoop. The air temperature in the diner dropped a few degrees. This wasn't just a reunion, it was a resumption of hostilities. Gordy introduced his girlfriend, Lynette Lacey, a woman who seemed to exist primarily to nod at Gordy's statements. I'd like you to meet my girlfriend, Lynette, Gordy prinned. Any friend of Gordykin's is a friend of mine. The bragging started immediately. Gordy flashed a diamond ring. Blister from my diamond ring, he complained theatrically. I put all my money into gold. Mel, whose assets were currently tied up in ground beef and a failing air conditioner, felt the familiar sting of inadequacy. You married? Gordy asked. I've been divorced 3 times. I've broken off engagements 4 times. Mel lied effortlessly. Got a beautiful blonde that's crazy about me. Alice and Vera exchanged glances. Mel's imaginary love life was getting more exercise than he was. We'll meet you at the Camelback Inn around 8, Gordy challenged. Bring your girl, Mel froze. 8 o'clock, bring my girl. Chapter 32: The Business of Romance. The moment Gordy left, panic set in. Where are you going to find a beautiful blonde girlfriend by tonight? Alice asked, amused. I can call up Sally. No, she's getting married, Mel muttered. Then his eyes landed on Jolene. Charlene, Mel called out. How would you like to do me a favor? Do you favor when pigs wear perfume? Listen. Mel lowered his voice. You get a free dinner if you go out with me tonight and you act like you're crazy about me. Jolene crossed her arms. For that kind of acting, I'd get an Academy Award. Mel has a slight problem, Alice narrated from the sidelines. He told his big-shot friend a lie. Now he needs a prop. Jolene saw an opening. She was a woman who knew leverage when she saw it. Maybe we could work something out. You let Jolene go back home in exchange for her going out to dinner with you. That's blackmail. Mel grunted. All right. You get 3 days off. 7. Jolene countered. 5. Mel haggled. 6. Jolene finalized. And you have to buy the bus ticket. Deal. Mel shook her hand. But you gotta wear something black and sexy. And throw kisses. Chapter 33: The Engagement Trap. The dinner was a success, mostly due to Jolene's spectacular performance and Mel's ability to sweat through a suit. But the next day, Gordy returned to the diner with news that shattered Mel's relief. Since this is our last night in Phoenix, I have an announcement, Gordy beamed. Lynette and I are engaged. Congratulations. Alice cheered. We are skipping right past the engagement and we're going right to the wedding, Gordy announced. In 48 hours. Too bad you two won't be able to make it, Gordy said to Mel, laying the trap. No, Mel said, his pride overriding his brain. We'll be there. We want to congratulate the new Mr. and Mrs. Sharples in person, Gordy said. Mel blinked. Mr. and Mrs. Sharples? He realized too late that he had painted himself into a corner. Gordy expected Mel to get married too. If Mel backed out now, the Stick would win forever. Mel, I can't believe you're going through with this, Alice said later. It's wrong. Gordy gets back to Brooklyn. He's gonna tell everybody that Mel Sharples is not a loser. Mel argued. He had music at his wedding. Mel turned to Jolene. We pretend that we get married. Gordy goes back to Brooklyn. You get 6 days off and a bus ticket. That bus ticket was for the dinner date, Jolene corrected him, sharpening her negotiations. This wedding? Annie's been up to a plane ticket. One then. A plane ticket? Mel cried. That costs so much money. Take it or leave it. Jolene shrugged. All right. One round-trip plane ticket, Mel conceded. This whole wedding is turning into an ugly business arrangement. Chapter 34. The Unholy Matrimony. The diner was transformed into a makeshift chapel. Henry Biesmeyer, customer and unwitting accomplice, was drafted to officiate. The Reverend Biesmeyer. Mel introduced him to Gordy. I'll handle the music. Henry stood nervously behind a podium made of stacked milk crates covered in a tablecloth. Dearly beloved, he stammered. We are gathered here to join this man and this woman in the bodies of winter? Speed it up, Hydro, Mel hissed. Do you, Melvin Sharples, take Jolene Honeycutt to be your partner in life? Henry asked. I do, Mel said, looking at Gordy to make sure he was watching. And do you, Jolene Honeycutt? I do, Jolene said, mentally calculating her frequent flyer miles. With the powers vested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife, Henry concluded. Mel, you may kiss the bride. Mel leaned in, whispering. He pecked her on the cheek. A day to remember. Gordy wiped a tear. And mine too. What? Mel asked. We liked your idea so much, Gordy said, pulling Lynette forward. We got the license and the blood test this morning. We'd like Reverend Biesmeyer to officiate right now. Mel's face went pale. Henry wasn't a real reverend. If Gordy got married by Henry, it wouldn't be legal. Gordy would go back to Brooklyn, find out his marriage was a sham, and realize Mel was a fraud. You don't need him. He's very tired, Mel stammered. You need a fresh reverend. He'll be fine, Gordy insisted. My son, Henry improvised poorly. I cannot perform the service. I'm having cocktails with the bishop. No problem. You'll speed it up, Gordy commanded. Mel looked at Alice. Alice looked at Mel. The charade had hit a wall. Chapter 35. The Altar of Truth. Dearly beloved, Henry started again, sweating profusely. If there is anyone among us who knows of any reason why this marriage could not take place, speak now. Henry pleaded with his eyes. Or now. All right, Mel shouted. I want to speak my piece. Gordy looked shocked. Why, Mel? Gordy, this whole wedding, it's a sham, Mel confessed, deflating like a punctured souffle. Reverend Biesmeyer is not a reverend. He's a telephone lineman, head lineman, and Jolene, Mel gestured to his bride. The diner was silent. Mel looked at his shoes. You can just go back to Brooklyn, Mel said quietly. You can tell all the guys that there's nobody out here that loves me. Gordy stared at him. Then, surprisingly, Jolene stepped forward. Oh, Mel, I love you, she said. Mel looked up. You do? Why else would I make a jackass out of myself? Jolene smiled warmly. I like you, Mel. Very, very much. Mel, you got a lot of people right here who love you, Alice added, putting a hand on his shoulder. Gordy looked around the room at the loyal waitresses, the dedicated customers, the bizarre family unit Mel had constructed in the desert. Well, Gordy said, breaking the tension, I guess that means I can go back home and have that church wedding I always wanted. So much for the wedding, Jolene sighed, taking off the ring. I don't guess I'll be needing these. Mel looked at her. You got to marry Mel, he whispered, a hint of the old Mel returning. Sometimes you'd love that. Epilogue. The best customers in the world. The musical had opened and closed to mixed reviews, mostly regarding the visibility of the chorus line. The treasure hunt had ended with a filled hole in the floor. The fake wedding ring was back in the Cracker Jack box. Life at Mel's Diner returned to its beautiful, chaotic equilibrium. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the counter. Alice, Vera, and Jolene sat on the stools, tired but content. Mel was in the back, loudly berating a pot of chili that refused to simmer correctly. You know, Alice said, stirring her coffee.